Hey there, welcome to another one of my videos. And I promise I'm going to try to get more positive here. Current events right now are not the most positive, and I'm trying to dig my way out of this stuff, but at the same time, I'm also trying to examine it and trying to maybe help some other folks get through it too. I've got my own way of dealing with the things that I see, and often what I see is a little bit different than what other people see. Anyhow, today's topic is going to be very simple. It's fear. And not just fear as in like a reaction to natural occurrences. I'm talking about unnatural fear. Fear that's cultivated. Fear that, okay, so I don't know where this video came from, and I could never find it again. And the fact that I could never find it again was a little bit creepy. But a few years ago on online, I saw this video, and it was very paranoid. It was very chaotic, and the person that made it was very upset at the time. It did not seem measured and well thought out. It seemed kind of erratic. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't true. It doesn't mean that it wasn't insightful, but it seemed to come from a disturbed mind. That's not a judgment call. I'm a little disturbed too, and I think most people who think enough and pay attention enough, they are disturbed as well. It's a disturbing world, at least it can be. Anyway, this video, it basically was talking about, it was a conspiracy theory, that's turned into a dirty word, but this was a unique theory that I had never heard before. Basically, this person was saying that, and it's even crazy for me to repeat it. And when I first heard it, it seemed insane. But as time's gone on, and the reason I wanted to go back and watch it again is that it seems pretty spot on. Let me tell you what the theory was, finally. Okay. The theory goes that the state of the world, the media, governments, oppression, injustice, all of this stuff is designed specifically to foment fear, to essentially farm fear out of people. I mean, and the way things are going right now, that might seem obvious. But the nefarious part that seemed really nutty at the time was that it was saying that there are entities outside our awareness, perhaps extra-dimensional, or they talk about lizard people and this and that, and I'm not exactly sure what this angle is or how this works, but they were saying that these entities feed on fear, like a resource, like it's their food. Think about that for a minute. It's a little chilling, because I always think about more than just the what. I've talked about this on my videos before. I like to dig into the why. To me, the why is a lot of times way more important than the what. I mean, the what is often a lot easier to figure out. The why, however, the end game to these things that are going on, they're harder to figure out. And when you look at that as a why, like, why do they build up fear? A simple answer would be, well, money. But think about the nature of money. Money is kind of just illusionary anyway. Kind of. It's totally illusionary. I mean, especially in the United States, money is literally created out of thin air. If you study fractional reserve banking, you'll see that every time a bank takes out a mortgage on anything, they essentially bring into existence most of that money. The debt itself creates the money. It's not made out of wealth. See, in the old days, money was made out of wealth. You had to literally dig it out of the ground in the form of gold or silver, or you had to create it with your hands in the form of goods. And that wealth was then money, which you traded for other things. Well, in modern times, it doesn't work like that. Fiat currency, which is what most of the world uses, I would say all of the world, but there might be some places that actually still use a standard based on metals. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but money, and along the thinking of money, I've heard some people say that it's gold, that Earth is essentially a giant gold colony, a gold mining colony for aliens or something like that. And these things might be tied together, and I'm not saying that this theory is true of these extra dimensional entities feeding on fear, like literally. I'm not a huge fan of that word. It gets overused, but in this case, it's apt. Literally feeding off of fear, as if they are invisibly attached to our bodies. And when the fear courses through our veins, it literally pumps them with energy. This video that I saw, it had some graphics that were kind of describing the process. And at the time, the idea was so big, it was just like, I didn't really get it. You know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of dumbfounded by the concept to begin with, and I didn't really pay attention so much to the video. It was the idea that was hitting me like a ton of bricks. And like I said, at the time, I still thought it was nutty. And over time, I've thought about it more and more. And I tell you, as a why, as an answer to the question, it kind of gives me chills to think about it, that might be the truth. Just something to think about, guys. To that end, this isn't me just trying to stoke more fear in you. Oh, let's be afraid of fear. Let's be afraid of the extra dimensional creatures that are feeding on fear. No. That makes more fear. I am absolutely not trying to do that. I feel like even scary things, once you're aware of them, once you're thinking about them, once you're able to put up defenses and adapt to them, then they aren't as effective. And since I have been thinking about this concept, I have personally in my own life, I've been trying to eliminate fear. And it's a lot harder than you think. Fear is often a reaction that happens before you even notice. Especially that fight or flight response, which is tied in with adrenaline. And, you hear conspiracy theories these days about elites and murders and pedophilia and consuming adrenochrome, which is actually the adrenal gland of a living human being. These things are tied together. If you wanted to stoke the most fear, you would do it in a child. If you were trying to harvest fear, you would do it from the weakest, freshest place that you possibly could, right? I mean, it's so ghoulish and terrifying to think about. But if this stuff is true, then this overarching idea might be true of fear of, there's a metal band called Fear Factory. Ever since I heard this concept, that's what I think about. It's like, so is that what Earth is? Is that what life here is? Is that what it's become? A giant fear factory? God. Look, what can you do? Well, you can't hide in a corner and be scared, because that's just feeding it. Like I was talking about with anything, when you see an enemy and you know that you can't approach the enemy with violence, you can't overcome them in that way, you have to think more clever. You have to try to starve them out. So don't be afraid. Make mistakes, live your life, and be brave. But don't be afraid. Don't let the current events that are going on, regardless of which tribe you're on, regardless of what your perspective is, the things that are going on right now are designed to stoke fear in both sides. Not even just both sides, all sides. They're designed to make one side think, oh, we won, but did we really win? I'm afraid. And then the other side is like, we definitely won, and they're cheating us, and we're going to fight. Oh, was that going to work? I'm afraid. I'm afraid of a future of these other guys running things. That's the way everybody is thinking right now. This is an insidious kind of fear. And just, I mean, if you doubt what I'm saying, just think back to what the media, the mainstream media, think about what they have done to the brains of everybody, not just in America, of the entire world. Think about how they've infected us. Think about how they've denigrated us. Think about how they've destroyed our will in so many ways. This COVID shit, you know, all of this made up collusion shit with foreign countries, all this hate disguised as trying to destroy hate. All it's doing is fomenting fear. They are planting seeds that are growing into giant fear bushes. Fear bushes. No, I don't like that. But you see what I mean? Fear flowers? That doesn't sound very scary. But you know what I mean, okay? They're growing this fear within us. And if we can't figure out a way out of this on our own, individually, where we all learn on our own how to follow our own hearts, how to take a deep breath and let this stuff go. Let things go. Let not just fear go. Let your anger go. Let all of these things that are stopping you from living your best, most enjoyable life. Just let the fear go. And that's one thing about identity politics that I hate the most. And I do hate that. I told you before, I don't hate a lot of things, but I definitely hate how identity politics stokes fear. Because it makes you think that every aspect that builds up the person that you are, the individual that you are, that there's something to fear from other people because of what you are or who you are. And that's so insidious. It's not healthy to think like that. It's not healthy to be a victim. This victim mentality is fear. It's what it's all based on. So look, just don't be fearful. I know it sounds so easy to say. It's like, get better. That doesn't get you better if you're sick, you know? It's definitely good advice. It's oversimplified. The definition of oversimplified. But look, do what you can. Take small steps. I'm telling you, starve the beast. Stop watching the news. Stop engaging in these fear-mongering activities, because you are engaging in them. You are participating in these things, and they are undermining you and your life and your freedom. Let's try to love each other and not be so fearful, guys. I love you, and I mean it. Until next time.